So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Happy Bringling. Thank you so much
Good.
for joining session on Mission Zero Unemployment. I am sure all of you must be wondering why it is this Mission Zero Unemployment, what is this Sone ki Chidiya ko Jagao, why all this is happening, and there is a lot of noise around it. Okay, so it all actually started with a very simple thought that how we could work as an Indian towards the benefit of India. And frankly, I was realizing that there's a lot of brain drain which is happening from the country today. And recently, I just want to share one story which happened in real time with me, which kind of literally shaken me up. One of my best friend, I mean, who's my friend for the last 20 years, way back in college, and he left India and went to Canada and took a PR there. And then, as soon as he reached there, he literally started blaming India, Indian Prime Minister, Indian politics, government, everybody, saying that India is not doing anything, and that's the reason I have moved out there. And there were some discussions going on around in terms of, by his parents, by his other family members, and trying to tell him what good is also happening in India. But it was a shock to me that how people are literally thinking about India even now. When in the last, I would say 7 to 8 years, a lot much has changed. Lot much we have grown. Lot many benefits we have seen in the ecosystem. We have been looked upon as a very strong superpower. In the global environment. I am not naming it anybody. I am not a person who is more politicized. But the idea here is that as an Indian, being in India, we are currently 1.3 billion Indians which are there. How could we work together towards the employment, towards the youth of our country, towards the children who are going to be the future of our country, and businesses, especially small businesses and startups, how could we support them? How could we work with them to make them investable, sustainable, and profitable? Because they are the ones who are going to generate more and more jobs for our country. So it's the problem of unemployment has become very more prominent after COVID. I mean, I would say it was there, but it has become more, openly coming up as a problem after that. So then we were thinking on all those aspects. We have run various sessions, various webinars, some training programs we have been conducting. And we were thinking that how do we kind of align it to one single mission with one single team and with one India. And that's where after reaching out to so many universities and colleges, we thought let's work out together towards this mission zero unemployment. And because we are focusing especially towards India at this point in time, we decided to write a book on the entire methodology, entire the way out, how we could transform India into a self-sustainable and financially independent economy, leading to zero unemployment. And that's where the book originates, the name originated, Sone ki Chidiya ko Jagao. I don't know how many of you are aware, but India was called as a Sone ki Chidiya. And for the people who do not understand Hindi, Sone ki Chidiya is golden bird. So we were called as golden bird. This is an effort to awaken the golden bird, which is India, which has been there in histories now. But somehow, because of lot of invasions, lot of brain drain, we have actually gone to the state where we were literally begging in front of the entire world and asking them to support us. Just just not to, kind of give you up, maybe I would say make you afraid, but I would like to share what is happening around us, our country at this point in time. You would have seen what happened with Pakistan. Pakistan economy is completely in doldrums today. Most of this, they don't have their own companies. These are all external companies, mostly Chinese. So if Chinese decides to take away their companies from Pakistan today, the Pakistan would be completely shattered. They're actually trying to, now there is a discussion going on around to split Pakistan into multiple pieces, could be 15, 16 or more. Coming back to the another country, Sri Lanka. Everybody knows there is a lot of discussion going on around that Elon Musk is ready to pay $43 billion to take over Twitter. And people are saying, why don't you take over Sri Lanka, whose economy debt at this point in time is $45 billion? Now, looking at this scenario, what we are seeing around us is that even not just the island, these billionaires, these rich people, these wealthy guys used to buy islands, which are isolated islands, and then used to create their own world around it. Now they can actually buy the entire country, and which is going to be very, very easy. Just off records, if you see Paytm, I'm naming that company because Paytm had 40% Chinese investors. When the Paytm IPO was launched, and versus what it is the share price today, it's only less than 50% of what it was listed. The investors who have invested, and mostly Indians, mind you, mostly Indians have lost their hard earned money. And it is a very easily available news that it was because Chinese exited as soon as it was listed on the stock market. I was attending one of the event in 2019 from Thai Mumbai that was called as ThaiCon Mumbai. And there I heard this person called Mohandas Pai. Not sure how many of you are aware on that. Mohandas Pai is one of the leaders in Infosys. Now he's running his own company and supporting startups to invest. He's investing in them, trying to create a fund. And he gave us good data. He said that in 2019, that year, or till that year, almost like $60 billion, if I correctly remember that figure, $60 billion were invested in Indian startups. Unfortunately, only 10% of that was from Indian investors or Indian billionaires. 90% of the money was coming from outside India. What does it mean? We are happy to see 50, 60 unicorns coming in just last year in India. But from where the money is coming from? It's not Indians' money. Your companies are not Indian now. They're actually owned by external investors, foreign investors. And that's a big problem in the country today. While we are running towards investment, we are trying to gain investments from everywhere. We all are thinking for ourselves, our company, our benefit. We understand that, and there's nothing wrong in it. You have to think about yourself first. But we as an Indians, can we come together? Can we work together and reach out to each and every Indian across the globe? It is said that every sixth person in the world is an Indian. Every large company, every big multinational is having an Indian on their leadership team. And it's a well known fact today. Why it is happening? Why the people are leaving India? I mean, of course, they have left for better prospects. But can we create something better for our country? Again, I'm saying it is definitely inspired by the efforts of what Indian government is doing, what our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi is doing. But this is not an initiative to align with them. We are trying to create our own ecosystem. We are trying to understand this from another perspective, from an Indian perspective, what a real Indian needs, so that the brain drain doesn't happen. And if there are people, and I see when I go to international tours, recently I was in Dubai and was meeting a lot of Indians from various parts of the globe. So they have come in from Africa, they have come in from Australia, they were there from US, they were there from UK, they were from Sri Lanka, and many other places across the globe, and of course from India. And one thing which was very common as an emotion, why can't we create opportunities in India so that if we want to come back, we should be able to come back? They're struggling. Believe me, they're not happy there. I have seen people, my own family members who are staying in Dubai or US or UK, some parts of the world, and some of the people I know who are in Germany or even Europe or in other parts. They literally struggle. They face racism. They face religion issues. They face bullyism, bullying out there, saying that you are there in our country, why don't you learn our language, why don't they treat us very badly. Even last visit which was done by Prime Minister to UK Prime President actually has kind of literally apologized that what they have done to India. Our Gurukul system was actually shattered by Britishers 200 more than 200 days ago. Before that, independence, we were having more, almost like 200,000, 2 lakh Gurukuls in our country, and they used to have the best skill development ecosystem. Everything is gone now. Our history books are talking about invaders. They don't talk about Indians who have done really great for the freedom of the country. What they have worked to preserve the Indianism within us. So coming back to this point, I think this is just a little background I wanted to share with you on what basis we started doing this. We had our global vision 2020-2030 to transform 1 billion lives, 1 million businesses, and 100 unicorns with an investment of $1 billion. We are looking at focusing on bringing excellence in 3 E's: education, employment, and entrepreneurship, with a focus on accessibility and mental health. However, when I realized this problem, we all as a core team decided that we will focus our energies towards India first. We will try to work towards achieving our $5 trillion economy dream by 2025. For the next 4 5 years, or I would say 3 to 5 years, our efforts are going to be primarily for India and making it as a super powerful economy, generating so many employments for the country, create work with the youth, work with the children to make them future ready. And I'll give you a little perspectives around that so that you will understand what is this whole mission is all about. So this book is nothing but the real time, real life examples and aspects how we could transform India into a self-sustainable economy. We took a pledge on 15th August 2021 on the 74th Independence Day that we will work towards getting another freedom for the country. And this time it's going to be financial freedom. Unless we are financially free, any country can be taken over by that. And that's what's happening with our neighboring countries. There's a lot of money going in Nepal as well right now, and even till Afghanistan. We are into a very problematic situation today. If we don't act it now, the time is not very far when we will find ourselves into another big problem. So let me not take up too much of time. If you are able to see my screen, just say hi, just say yes on that.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Manoranjan. Okay. So what we are trying to do with Bringle is we are creating a world's largest cross-border, inclusive, and its patented virtual skills development center and skills bank. This is going to be an autodidactic and a proctored blockchain-based platform. Now, what do you mean by autodidactic? Autodidactic is a platform which is a human-free environment, but it's a self-paced, personalized program wherein we will require so many mentors to work behind the scenes. But when it comes to reaching out to people, we will be able to reach billions of people across the globe. And because we are working on it as a Make in India product, everything will be benefited for India out here. That's what we are looking at. The proctored is one of the examples because when you work online, there are a lot of reasons because there are a lot of chances that students will get diverted to other work, maybe going to WhatsApp or going to social media, which we have seen in the last 2 years with our school children specifically. And that is where we'll control this entire platform sitting remotely so that they will be, once they're going into studies, they will be doing only studies. And that's where we will be coming up with our own hardware as well eventually and creating this platform completely proctored. So there will be a completely educational based tablet and an affordable one. From an from a benefit point of view, from a recognition point of view, we got 10 recognitions now in five global regions in the last 5 years. Recently was the one in Dubai, where I met Manoranjan, out there, and he came forward to support us in this initiative. Thank you, Manoranjan, for the same. Uh,
Thank you, Anshu.
Now, this is the whole mission about zero unemployment, and we are looking at goodwill ambassadors from each of you. We would request is reach out to each and every Indian across the globe, work with us, and support us on this mission zero unemployment. Now, why we are working, some of the data points, I'll quickly get into that. Before we get into that, I just want to share with you one small video, which is our actually a corporate video. Uh, just a moment. Looks like there is a voice issue. I can't connect the voice, so I'll skip that part right now. I'll just share the presentation. Okay. Now, if you see today, actually only less than 5% youth are employed today. We have close to 229 million youth from age group 16 to 26. That's the number. If you increase this number to 29, the number increases to 260 million youth. Out of that, only 11 million gets jobs, and 90% of them actually leave their job or being thrown out in the first year itself. That is the state of the country. Even the existing, organizations, they are having their C-suite executives, CXOs. They are working towards bringing new technologies like AI, robotics, VR, and redesigning the job roles. The work what they are doing currently, which actually become will be done by robots, soft or hard robots. Even the existing employees are struggling. If they're not able to upskill or reskill themselves, they're losing their jobs, especially in this blended environment of work with new technologies like metaverse and virtual reality coming in. A lot of people are losing jobs. I won't play this video right now on the screen, but I will definitely add the link on the YouTube link. You can check about the story of this youth, how he has struggled even after being a successful person now. And let me share some of the other examples why these three reasons why over 95% of youth are not able to explore their true potential. One, they are not unaware, they are completely unaware and unclear about their skill sets and the future industry skill sets. They're not employable because they're not, for the future job roles. They don't have those digital skill sets which are mandatory in the future. They are completely focusing towards a bloodbath. Corporate world is literally gone into a red ocean where there's so many little jobs are left and there's huge competition. In fact, there is a number, only less than 1% new jobs are getting into the ecosystem versus the new graduates who are coming in every year from our colleges. So it's very much important right now that they work as an entrepreneur. We support other entrepreneurs to generate more and more jobs out there because that's a blue ocean at this point in time. These are the 7 futuristic digital skill sets where we are training and working with colleges to train them on all these aspects, finding out their core competence and making them master in one. Design thinking, which is about seeing the world, seeing the future, how it should be. Even designing a product, it does not exist today. How do you become more, bring excellence in your operations? How do you become frugal? How do you become lean in your organization? How do you manage your entire business in a much more efficient and effective manner? It's very, very important. AI, ML, robotics. There are some initial versions shared. There are some expanded versions right now, and there will be much more changes coming up. 50% of these skill sets which I'm mentioning out there are not even properly defined yet. They're yet to be explored. The technologies are changing every day. Cloud computing, blockchain. Nobody has heard about blockchain till 5 years ago. Now it has become such an important technology. UI, UX, virtual reality, metaverse. Since the time Mark Zuckerberg has started talking about metaverse, everybody is launching metaverse. We are also coming up with our metaverse virtual university, where you could literally play games and learn and educate and even get employment within that metaverse. That's where we are calling that as Bringleverse. There is Zionverse coming up. There is Microsoft Mesh is coming up. Metaverse is by Facebook. There is NVIDIA has brought in Omniverse. Growth marketing, which is anybody who is in sales marketing, they have to learn about growth marketing angles, marketing automation, and it generates a lot of data. So data analytics. Now, some of the data which has been done by our co-team member Daman. Daman, are you there? If you want to just quickly have a look on, share on this, if you can unmute yourself.
Good evening, everyone. Anshav, I am on, but I'm in car and I'm looking at the phone, so it's very difficult to see.
I'll run through it, Daman. No problem.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so this was a recent survey done on LinkedIn, and these are the actual polls. So 21% people say they're technically low. 24% you'd say there's soft skills gap and lack of industry knowledge around 41%. If we mix together all of it, probably I, Anshav, or Daman may have all these challenges together. And this is the state of the country today. And this is only probably from, we are talking about tier 1 cities. If we talk about tier 2 and tier 3, they may not even have a proper education system, as we know that more than 200 million students or youth does not even see colleges, while there are only 40 million children or youth are actually studying in colleges today. Little bit on my story. I wanted to be an astronaut, wasted 2 years in medical, eventually joined engineering, of course, one of the top 5 engineering institute. Got into corporate sales, went back to engineering thinking that, okay, I spent 4 years and I should be doing that. This turned out to be the biggest mistake of my life. Eventually got into operational excellence, and then I grew 16 times in 11 years and became the youngest vice president, earning the highest amount of the salary at the age of just 34 years. But the life does not give you, life is not that easy. I went into another crisis when I lost my highly paying job because of recession. Then I realized I've actually tried 21 plus ideas in last 21 plus years and lost seven businesses in 7 years, close to $500,000 of my own, before transforming a loss-making business into a nearly $100 billion global startup today, which is Bringle. And that's where we started focusing on how we could leverage our community, how we could take this forward to the next level. That's where we defined Bringle vision statement as zero unemployment. It is the whole mission to encourage, empower, and guide the youth towards employability and entrepreneurial mindset, and increase learning effectiveness to transformation and generate values to organize holistic skill development programs. These are called as corporate grooming program to develop them as an entrepreneurs, and design your unicorn program for develop them entrepreneurs. These are the three ways by which we are working on an end-to-end automated platform. So one side, we are going to colleges. This is an actual picture of a college where we are running with, every college, setting up our skill development centers, measuring and improving their employability index, running know yourself campaigns, running employability training, corporate grooming programs, and supporting them from jobs and placements into that. We are also leveraging the youth to come forward and be a part of campus ambassador programs. Skilled candidates, we are working to develop them more skilled into those seven futuristic digital skill sets, which are very required for the corporates or the small businesses as well. Work with them to identify their core skill sets and their competence, and then running various programs in colleges. These are system triggered candidates with verified skill sets goes to the corporate with a single touch ecosystem. Working with colleges on with their incubation cells to support early stage entrepreneurs. With them, we'll reach out to local businesses and startups to make them more sustainable, investable, sustainable, and profitable, so that they can generate more and more jobs for the country. Uh, Three-way process by which we work on experiential learning program. Anybody who is not talking, I would request if you could put yourself on mute. There are some noises coming in just for others' perspective. Uh, Thank you so much. Uh, Experiential learning program is what we are focusing upon because that is where the knowledge retention is better. So there are three ways by which we are creating this entire Bringleverse or Bringle branded learning platform. One, it is going to be a SaaS-based platform which will connect and integrate 21 plus applications in one platform, which reduces lot of learning curve and effort for a mentor or a trainer to conduct these training programs. And we will use their expertise to bring in and create content through our augmented reality or virtual reality, studio to create that quality of content, which will be eventually gamified. We'll have a lot of simulations and animations around that. This entire platform will connect to our existing 50,000 plus communities spread across 70 plus countries, but we'll be reaching out to more and more people. And we'll be creating a mentors aggregator platform which will have all three type of payments. So people can do it online banking, they can pay it in EMIs, they can do it. I mean, that is called as neo banking, which is like paying in EMIs or buy now, pay later options, or even cryptocurrency. So these are the three ways by which we are doing it in the colleges. There will be a pre-assessment evaluation. There are live sessions and gamifications which we are doing in colleges, and eventually the post-assessment evaluation. This goes true for both employability training programs as well as entrepreneurship development programs. There's a three-step process, as I mentioned. A single-touch AI-based income engine identifies their core skill set, talent, and best-suited job role. We groom them into our holistic skills development center, and then finally gives them the job as per their skill set. And it just shoots out the resume, video, and skills profile. It's a digitally verified blockchain-based platform which will kind of kick off or leverage that ecosystem for the same. Entrepreneurship Development Program is a Design Your Unicorn program, which basically goes through 5 stages. It covers four areas, 7 pillars, and 105 factors, which can make or break the business. And that's what we'll be focusing and working with them into a unique 5-stage certified program. This is our 21-year long project plan stages and some of the demo items which are there for each platform what we are building. So right now we are at phase one, which is 21 weeks program. We'll be raising, and we'll be looking at bringing in around 100,000 plus users into this. We are launching our Bringle NFT marketplace to bring in mentors and for them to get benefits of a passive income. This is going to be a purely passive income where we will be supporting them to get more and more money out of it. Even the customers will become investors into this, and they can, after studying, they can resell their courses to somebody else at a higher or the same price and recover their cost as well. So it's one sort of platform wherein anybody can invest, can become an investor and take out their money as and when they need. We'll be eventually developing a blockchain-based skills bank and a complete automated sales automation platform so that our mentors doesn't have to bother about sales and marketing, and the platform does the entire sales for them. That will be the journey for the next 21 months. And then the 21 quarters will actually be developing the Virtual Skills Development Center, which is a virtual university platform which will create and will bring in 100 million users into this ecosystem. Eventually, we'll take it to around a billion plus users, a billion plus people transformation, wherein it will be a proper, there will be a humanoid mentor, probably teaching in schools, colleges, and even in skill development centers. There will be no human intervention. There will be exception-based queuing system for the mentors, and there will be a proctored hardware will be launched around that. We spoke about proctored little while when we started off. Now, if you see the total market perspective, I just want to give you the perspective how we are going to target the overall 7 billion population in the next coming 21 years of time. But yes, we will be focusing on the India as an addressable market first, which is close to 1 billion. We will target youth right now, which are around 261 million. As I said, 16 age group 16 years to 30 years. We will definitely work with children as well, which will give us another 500 million school children out there. And there will be, in another 3 to 5 years, we'll target around reaching to 5% of the targeted college students through the freemium model. We are running these free skills profiling and webinars programs in various colleges. We have covered 6 universities by now, 500 plus colleges, and around close to a million students by now whom we have supported through this initiative. The entire book funding, whatever the contribution we are doing for the book, 100% of the profit is going toward this plan to reach out to these people, to reach out the youth of the country, to reach out to the schools, to reach out the children of the country, and especially for the ones who cannot afford these training programs. So entire money will be spent over there. We are not going to take, that is not the book is only a social, is for the social cause and sharing the information to each and every Indian across the globe. That's the whole idea which we are looking at with this book, Sone ki Chidiya ko Jagao. We have 4 deep excellence methodology about, we develop the indexes around it, which is knowledge index, employability index, business sustainability index, accessibility index, using various platforms. We have a platform which integrates the various mentors and students around it, developing various programs on the metaverse university which will be developed, and eventually will support businesses through their virtual CEO services as well. There are a lot of companies who are looking to come to India. We will be supporting them to come in India so that we can generate more and more income and investments for India as well. But they will, with the accessibility and inclusion. Sharmila, if you are there and if you can speak, I would like you to talk a little bit on this as well.
Thank you, Anisha. I am very much here. Yeah. But we have myself and Aishwarya, who is handling art, and I am taking care of Vardhan. But our major work is in the area of accessibility and inclusion and services to the persons with disability and elderly as of today. But we intend to reach out to the entire country and then the entire world across industries, across sectors, across income groups. I'm not stopping at one place and looking at only reviews or reports for accessibility in the education center. No, it's more than that. Everyone should have health, everyone should have access, and everyone should have the three E's: education, employment, and the option to become an entrepreneur. Because not everyone will be picking up jobs. Somebody has to become a job generator also. So that's the idea.
Thank you so much.
Manoranjan, you have a question? I can see a raised hand.
No, it was not a question. It was basically the question from Ansab that whether he was able to audible or not. That was
Okay.
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 That's.
Thank
you
you.
very much. Thank you very much.
So maybe you could type in your questions in the chat window. We'll take it up when we just complete the slides on that.
Correct.
Welcome, Raman. Good to see you here.
Yeah, I am basically based in Delhi.
Thank you very much.
NCR. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, the reason why we have started focusing on accessibility and health management ecosystem is that with accessibility, we are trying to reach those 15% of Indians or population who are basically person with disabilities. And if unfortunately, none of the industry, including education, employment, or entrepreneurship, any or the businesses ecosystem focuses on targeting them or supporting them because they feel that they are not worthwhile for them to target. Unfortunately, more than 75% of persons with disabilities are educated. That is why me and Sharmila, when we were working on this, we decided to make it as an inclusive platform so that we can reach out to each and everybody out there. With Aishwarya, we realized that very early, especially after COVID, that health is going to be priority for everybody. When it comes to health, nobody bothers about education, employment, or entrepreneurship out there. They'll say, let me save my life first. Let me save my family's life first. So we decided to create a complete health management ecosystem with a blockchain-based health records or connecting with doctors and emergency responses or even home care and therapies and counseling with respect, even with mental health perspective. Aishwarya is creating the entire ecosystem with ablecard.org. They have started with person with disabilities, then they are moving to person to elderly and eventually to the other critical areas like cancer or COVID or anything which requires more constantly reviewed situation. It could be diabetes, it could be blood pressure, it could be anything, but you require a constant management of your health or monitoring of your health. That's where Sharmila and Aishwarya are working and joining hands together out there. Thank you so much, Sharmila and Aishwarya, for this great work.
My pleasure. I'm missing Aishwarya right now, but thank you
Right.
from both ends.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, this is where we are looking at inviting each and everybody of you to become a goodwill ambassador of with us in transforming India into a self-sustainable economy. We want every Indian to come forward, supporting every other Indian, and work towards raising the employability level and developing more and more entrepreneurs into the ecosystem. And with that initiative, we'll be sharing a link into the at the end of the video, or probably on the YouTube channel, where you can go and commit yourself towards this initiative, download your badge and upload it on the social media as well, which will help all of us to really take this initiative way forward. We don't need any support from you. We don't need any money from you. If you can't even spend the money for the book, to initiate, to support on this initiative, which is only 300 rupees or $5 if there is a person who is looking to pay in dollars, they can just be a part of this global goodwill ambassador program, share our initiative to every Indian across the globe, or anybody else who would like to support India at this point in time. We'll be happy to bring you forward, bring you into the ecosystem. uh, Again, we are coming back to this about Bringleverse platform as edu fintech platform. Some of our logos, some of our work which we have been doing. Uh, I've mostly talked about myself having 18 plus of years of experience and developing a $100 million plus global patented and inclusive health tech platform now. Sharmila has been working with government of person with disabilities and has been part of education policy as well as the accessibility or inclusion policy with them. Have a wonderful life in the last 50 plus years, rather, I would say that. I remember, Shamila being one of an inspiring lady who has actually, was 5.5 years old when she got cerebral palsy and found herself half body paralysis after coming out of 10 days coma. And from that stage to today, when she's managing three plus companies or three organizations of her own, it's quite a commendable job. So that's what Sharmila is all about. So thank you so much, Sharmila, for being there in this journey with me for the
This
last
is for
five
the
years.
country, always.
Thank you.
Always.
And this is our core team and advisors. Daman Dev Sood is been supporting us for the last 6 months and working with various colleges and universities to create an impact and working towards the employability enhancement sessions or webinars out there. Aishwarya, we spoke about running, she's part of a core team of Bringle and running her own organization, ablecard.org, and developing the health management ecosystem. Dr. Lakshmi Napani is focusing towards mental health, being a psychologist, and also working towards as a corporate grooming program within the colleges. Pratik Mandalia is working as a marketeer for us and supporting us in creating a content around this. Praveen is being a technology advisor and Prashant being from Saudi is supporting us from a more financial angle as well. We have few more experts like Novnish from France who are supporting uh, on these areas for us. Some of our awards and recognitions, you've seen a glimpse of it on the first slide, but we have been among the top 3,000 startups within North America and India, top 10 startups within India. We've got Indian Innovation Award by, as a Skill Development Program Institute Award by Government of India and 24 MRC. Radio Masti 24 by 7 Singapore has published a 21 days business sustainability challenge series, Pulse of Wisdom in entire Southeast Asia, and Fever 104 FM recognized us as a super startup. This is some of the glimpse of 21 Days Business Sustainability Challenge series in 2020, where after the lockdown, where 80 plus speakers from 30 plus countries has given 400 plus pulse of wisdom and around 35 to 40 hours of content in 21 days business sustainability challenge with live 5,000 plus entrepreneurs watching it, followed by a Making the Virtual World Alive series, where we had done this 10-week series with various vice chancellors, deans, and various colleges just to understand what their challenge is and bringing in the concept of Bringle blended learning series and how we have promoted it to various leaders across the country. Eventually followed with our Super 30 transformers coming in into the ecosystem, supporting us on this mission and one of the transformer I remember is Brenda. Brenda is already there with us, and she is also an expert on employability improvement. And I would definitely want her to speak about employment and her experiences towards it after this session. We were part of World Book of Records with Lead India, where we were part of the longest 27 hours running webinar, more than which was actually made live in more than 70 plus countries, and around more than 100 plus speakers participated in that session. Recently, I got an outstanding education leadership award in Dubai, and I've been promoting the book Sone ki Chidiya ko Jagao there, and some of the snapshots from there. So we are trying to bring this initiative globally, reaching out to each and every Indian across the globe. And not only with just Indians, we are also sharing this initiative with non-Indians as well. And they eventually helping us out to reach out to each and every Indian. After that, we have got a lot of requests from Singapore, UAE, and even Africa to come and do the similar activities out there. And there could be a scenario when people would be, there will be people who will be running the similar initiatives out there. Let's make it together. That's what the Mission Zero Unemployment is all about. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ansab. This is a very great presentation and quite illustrative, and everybody knows, and it is a collective responsibility, and together we can definitely contribute and make the mission successful. Thank you.
Anshu, am I audible now?
Yes, Mridula.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, for coming and spending some good time with you all. And Sharmila ma'am, you are too good the way you presented yourself, and Ansha sir, everyone was very nice. The thing is, like I'm a freelancer, worked with HSBC for almost 9 years, and then I have taken a gear to help people towards employment. So I am associated with two consultancies now, one in Hyderabad and one in Vizag. So very closely working with many MNCs. Will not take the name exactly, but yes, MNCs is where I'm working now. And apart from that, also I'm helping people to get right connect for a right job. Very closely working with disabled people also. They are not disabled; they are specially able people. So, there is some institution or in a place called as Prajual Vani. That is particularly more into helping the kids, the disabled kids, to groom, teach, and then, provide them education, then a job. So that lady is struggling very hard, what I see personally. So can we do something for her also is very important. So, and I personally, I have almost 200 plus people who are looking for a job in Visakhapatnam and Hyderabad. So they have all the skill set, they have all the knowledge, they know what to do in the interviews, but they are not getting jobs. So what can we do best for them is my question.
Very good point, Mridula. I think for a person with disabilities question, I would like Sharmila to talk about. So, Sharmila, why don't you take that question, and then I'll take up the employment question.
Yes. Thank you, Anshul, and thank you, Mridula, for raising this. One is, let us look at an assessment of the people, and let us have your still and our still matched up to help out people. That's the entire intent in all of this. So why don't we talk to each other offline and set this up? And
Definitely, we can do that.
Take up from there.
Definitely, ma'am.
Great. So I think you should connect with Aishwarya and Sharmila separately, Mridula. We are into the same WhatsApp group anyways. So you should have a separate conversation, especially for the person with disabilities. For the employment part of it, I would really want to see, this is our experience, and I'm not saying that that they are not employable, but there are challenges which we have seen in terms of when it comes to employment. There are enough jobs available. We are also looking for people, but we don't get good people out here. And I remember Daman telling me that while we are talking about Mission Zero unemployment, but when we talk to our youth today, they don't even know what they want to do in life. They're not even serious on coming to interviews and things like that. So I am not saying that the 200 people you are talking about are like that, but we need to really assess them. We need to understand them. What we could do is we would be happy to run certain webinars or certain seminars for them, see how what they're doing. We are ready. We can support them by conducting few basic assessments just to gauge where they are, what are their skill sets, what are their interests, and how we could help them. Because 200 is a large number, even though it's a small number from an overall perspective. But even then, we have to pick up one by one. See, the one big approach difference in our approach is that we don't just treat everybody with the same yardstick. Everybody is different. Everybody is has to be worked out as per what they need. So we will have to take it up separately. Daman, do you want to? I think I see that you're back. Do you want to add a few things out here? How we could support these 200 plus youth out there?
Thanks, Anshav. I would like to offer this way that I'm happy to look at those profiles first. I'm happy to talk to those people, and then we'll be able to perhaps think of the way forward that what we can be doing for them. Right?
Yeah.
Which is in line with what you're saying is that immediately we are not sure, with due respect to them, whether they are employable or they are employable enough. So we need to understand the challenges that they have faced before we attempt to offer a solution or resolution to that.
I understand that, but my question will be like, see, time is important for every one of us. The client is waiting for the employee, and the employee is waiting for the client. So I am a bridging gap between the employer and the employee. So I understand that I sit with them, I take the mock interviews day in and day out. Like in this 1 month, I have given almost 67 candidates. How many got selected? How many are actually working? What exactly is happening? How can I alone track it? I should have a team with me, right?
Further,
Yeah.
we'll
Hello.
Uh, Daman, Daman seems to have some network issues. So Mridula, I think let's have this conversation offline with Daman, you and me, on all these 200 people. Let's understand what is the real issue out there. Uh, I think we have Brenda also with us, and I know Brenda has been working very strongly, or very, I would say, committed towards this cause of zero unemployment. Or I would not say, maybe she's looking at picking a one by one person, and she has got 100% track record in terms of giving people the jobs in their own expertise. So, Brenda, would you like to throw some light on that? And maybe you could relate to what Mridula is trying to say. Brenda, you are on mute.
Yeah, I can totally relate to what you're saying, Mridula,
Okay.
because I have done a fair amount of work in the last 3 years. And my niche area basically is how to get the job and how to ace the interview, on which I have done a lot of work and tremendous amount of research, deep dive research. Besides, I've just got the I should say advantage of having been in the corporate space for over 4 decades. So of which 32 years were with HUL, Hindustan Unilever. So that's given me a lot of experience, confidence, and everything. So the first thing we should realize that we are not only in the business of giving jobs. There are jobs,
there are two tendencies that there are. If you have seen today's research, is exactly which has come out from CMIE, it is showing that both trends are happening together. The rate of employment is going up as well as the rate of unemployment. Okay, so we had 284 million people unemployed in May 2020. That's all people together. About 130 were white collar workers. Today, that has come down to about 35 million. Okay. But the main reason why people remain unemployed is, first of all, they don't have the proper approach. The old approach, which was an outbound approach, applying aimlessly to jobs and waiting for that interview, is not relevant today. It's an inbound approach. Now, I'm just speaking like this. Anshav didn't even tell me, but I'm just speaking from my heart. So it is like that. It is said, when opportunity does not knock at the door, build a door. That's what we have to do. So today it is not so much about applying to companies, it is about positioning yourself in such a way that you attract the best hiring managers and recruiters to you. I know with the underserved sections of society, this is their chances are much, sort of, because of their lack of communication, lack of presence of social media. So there are about 13 strategies which I teach for getting the job. Not all of them apply to every category. If it's a senior manager, he would be using a different category, a different type of approach. But these are basically, skill strategies which anybody can use. The approach, the I would say we are in the business, as I said, not of just giving jobs. We are in the business of giving hope. Whatever else you do is secondary. First of all, you have to give those students the hope, the belief that there is a job out there which is appropriate for them, where they can be fulfilled, they can be liked, and they can be recognized. That it begins with the mindset. Then the self-awareness. The B is the self-awareness. Nobody looks at self-awareness as a tool in the job search. That is a tool. Okay. The C, I would say, is clarity. Clarity on the direction. The jobs are, there are hundreds of types of jobs out there, right? You have to have some clarity on which domain, which industry, and which role you are targeting, and then narrow down your search to about maybe about 8 or 10 companies. Do an application tracking system where you follow up every week on what engagements you have made with each of these companies. To get to this target company itself should take you at least 2 weeks of hard work, because you start with a list of maybe 25 companies, then you look at their red flags. Is there been any insolvency or bankruptcy or mass exits such as that? Then you filter it down to the hard data of the company, which is 5 types of analysis. Financial, I know that this is not easy for the students, but we can handhold them to do that, and they're quite bright. I have seen with the students from the underserved sections of society, there's one student who gave me a recommendation yesterday. If you read it on LinkedIn, you won't believe that he could not even speak 2 words of English when I first met him in 2019. He got the Student of the Year award. So these people are people who have potential because they've come from the underserved sections. They have extra resilience. There is, a lot of it in them. So you need to have that clarity, hard data, which we do in what we call, I use the PPT model. And finally, you need to get to the soft data of the company, the value systems, how the leadership style, because you don't only want to get the job, you want to succeed at the job, right? Even if they're under underserved section of society, they want fulfillment and recognition and success in the job. And everybody has to realize that full-time and lifelong jobs are gone. First is this, they need to get into their mind and to the students, into their parents' mind. If you are up to, say, between 25 or 35, you will be around for 3 to 4 years. 35 to 45, maybe 5 to 6 years. If you're above 50 and you manage to stay relevant, then you may be about 5 to 7 years. So the upskilling point is they need to understand what are the skills required for a job. So a lot of research before going for the interview, research on yourself. research on the company, research on the skills required for that job, research the job description, not only for that job, one job higher, one job lower, research the boss, research the interviewer. These are the little things which I teach, which help them to actually prepare, research the questions you are going to ask. Often they ask me, are we supposed to ask questions? Yes, because people often select you not because of the answers, because of the questions you ask. In HUL, when I joined, there were about 500 people who applied, and I had joined when I was not working. I had a 2-year break. And there were only few selected. There were two days we had, half day tests and all that. And final selection was with the whole board of HUL. You'll be surprised to know that, because the role was a very confidential role, only because of that. And let me tell you, later I came to know it is more because of the questions I asked than the answers I gave. In fact, this was a story told all the time, even till I retired, that I asked more questions to the board than they asked me, because I had decided not to join. So I was very free.
So,
So there are whole
Brenda,
techniques, the work
Brenda,
techniques.
Brenda would like to hold you there. I know your passion. I'm aware about your passion onto this, and I would want to keep this. Just want to keep a time check because I just don't want to extend. But I would really want to connect with you. We have already discussed on this. Let's do this way. You, Mridula, Daman, and myself, and maybe other co-team members of ours, we can connect together and see. Let's take Daman. You. I think you got out because of the network. You were saying something. I'm sure you have heard what Brenda's passion is and what she's doing. So you want to
Yeah,
add something out there, and maybe we can then have a separate call on this.
yeah.
Anshu, I have a
Quickly,
last question for you. It's the last question. Do you really think that age is the only factor where you get rejections in job profiles? Like, I mean to say, I have few candidates, like they just because of 45, 46, 47 years, they are high skilled, high profile people, good skill set, and they are rejected like upfront. And you know what? Will we not come to the same age someday? Will we? The same thing will
Got
happen
it.
to us also, is it?
So, Mridula, I think your point has been actually partially answered by Brenda, but I think Dhawan is also raising hand. So let him speak now.
quickly, I'll wear the shoes or hat of the employer also. It's pure business, no emotions here, right? I want the right person and the best person. With due respect to the people, I don't mean to say the question was, are they because of age rejected outright? So answer is no. But we need to think otherwise also. Think about the employer also. By the way, the challenge in the world is that not only the applicants, but the employers also are confused or are not prepared. So our solution will be all inclusive. The student, the parent, Brenda, the employer, Anshaf, the consultant or trainer, Sharmila, the bridge. You are the bridge. You said bridge in between. All need to, and the industry as well. All need to work together, and this is what we are going to be doing. It's a major task. It's not easy, but we are committed and we continue to do this. If we all work together, we'll be able to do it. Answer is not going to be easy. No one says that it's going to happen tomorrow like this. No, it's a long-term journey.
And frankly, we don't even know the answer right now. We don't
No, the
even, we are just
person.
contemplating right
No,
now
no,
that
no,
this
no.
could be the solution.
No, the person himself or herself is very good in soft skills training. The knowledge she carries is
So,
TOEFL, lot of
Mridula, you
PhDs
have to
added.
understand the world has moved beyond soft skill now. It just because you have a good communication skills, you won't get a job. I mentioned about those seven skill sets. Those skill sets are also important. The world is changing. I'll give you a very simple example. Okay. And I'm telling you our own example just to make sure that you understand around that. We at Bringleverse are trying to create a complete mentor free platform. We always claim to that. That is why I told about autodidactic platform where the student will learn on their own. Now, what does that mean? Will that Does that mean that we won't require mentors or experts with us? No, absolutely not. In fact, we will require more and more mentors to work behind the scenes to create that quality content for us. The only thing is the repetitive work which today a mentor is doing or a teacher is doing, which will be taken off. The problem with our industry is, or with our education system is, that they are training us to become a robots. They're training us to, unfortunate part, they're training, our education system is designed in such a manner that they are supposed to do the same thing again and again. But that work is being done by robots today. So unless you have some intelligence used into the area which is vacant and you identify that and you upskill yourself towards it, you won't be successful. You will be rejected. I think Daman was also raising his hand.
Thanks.
But some day will
So,
come when I will plan something really big
Mradula,
for
can
all
you
those people who
please,
really need it. Yeah.
Mradula, you have asked a question. Please allow us to
Yes.
answer also. Right.
Okay.
So in TCS, I would have interviewed thousands of students to be taken into. And then based on all that experience, I started delivering this training, voluntary work. There was no Bringle at that time. How to pass interviews in flying colors. In about 1 hour session, I'll do some role plays also with them. And the starting would be with this statement, the best assurance that I can give the students. So as of now, we are talking about the freshers, right? The best assurance that I can give is that this interviewer, Anshav, sitting across the table, has come here to say yes to you, not to say no to you. No one has
Absolutely.
time just to go for interview, right? I want people. That's why I have gone for the interview. So best assurance is that this person wants to say, please make it easy for him or her to say yes for yourself. The student or the applicant is confused or frustrated, the employer is equally frustrated. Yesterday, can you believe I'm giving live example? And so that's why I was raising hand. Live example, our own example. I have rejected a person while he or she, I'm not naming the gender, while he or she is a British Council certified trainer. I am saying communication is not good. I wouldn't take him or her into my organization. Experienced person, right? It's not even a fresher. Repeatedly, I'll say it's going to be all inclusive. We need to talk to all. We need to think from employer side also, not just, if we use that word, cursing the employers. Employer also want to make their business big. Repeatedly, they are here to say yes, not to say no. Let's make it easy for them to say yes to us. This is what we need to. We means I'm becoming, now I'm changing the role. I'm becoming the applicant now. I've rejected people within this last couple of days, week. Rejected people comes in, but doesn't know what the requirement is. Comes in, oh, but no, I don't want to do this. Then why did you say yes? If you're so sure you want to do A, but we are saying B. So it's waste of your time and waste of my time also. So employer is equally frustrated. We must keep all this in mind. Live examples.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly,
Thank you,
Daman.
Daman.
What you told, that is core competencies and the skill set is very much required for the development. Otherwise, people needs the leaders for any organizational development, and that is required. If they have the communication skill, the strategic thinking, and other things, a lot of things are required and expected for an employer, and the employee has to fulfill on this. It's a very good platform for
We
discussion.
used
I
to say,
think, Answer, you are in the right direction. Yeah.
we used to say, do your 100%. Everyone has to do 100%. I say 100% is not enough anymore
Correct.
because everyone else is doing. Now everyone knows do 100%. So the one you have to do at least 101% if you want to win the race. As simple as that. 100% is not anymore. Everyone is willing to do 100% now. Everyone has attended the session, the month session of how to pass interviews in flying colors. So you need to do 101% at least. It's competition out there.
So I think
Right? My apologies.
this discussion can go on and on. I would
Yes.
just like, because of the time check, I just want to kind of keep it here. The purpose here today was to share what we are doing towards Vision 2020-2030, how we are trying to achieve our mission zero unemployment, and how we are going to work towards transforming 1 billion lives, 1 million businesses, and 100 unicorns. We are going to invest $1 billion in the next coming 3 to 5 years' time. And we are committed to raise that fund in the next coming time on this. But we will need all of your support. And small contribution matters. We are going to reach out to all these thousands of universities in the country to run these webinars, and this is going to be absolutely free. We'll be conducting few sessions as well, depending on the funds availability. And we would want all our youth to become employable. And if you have entrepreneurial mindset, we will work with you to nurture that further and help you to grow your business, or even transform your ideas into $1 billion recurring income business model. That's what we are trying to do, and that's what the whole initiative is all about. We cannot do it alone. We need all of you. 1/6 of the population in the world are Indians. We all can make it. And out of them, 1.3 billion people are in India itself. Each of us can contribute 300 rupees for this book. I'm not saying that you are
Easily.
donating it. It is not a donation. I'm not asking for a donation here. It is your contribution. You are going to get a book. You are going to get something which is really recognizable or transformational for our country. It is not about having that book or paying for that book. With that book, even sitting, even if you won't read it, keeping that book into your drawing room, if anybody comes and you talk to them about that this is an initiative which is going towards that, and they reach out to us at Bringle, we just want more and more people to come to us. We want people like Mridula to come back to us and say, Ansha, we have 200 youth sitting there waiting for employment. We want support.
Yeah, exactly.
We want people like that. We want our colleges to come back and say and accept, first of all, that their students are having jobs, but they are not employable.
Yeah,
They're not employable. You may get them the job. You may push them into the corporate system while they're into their colleges. But what happens after that? They have to run their next 40 years, at least 30 years of their career with the same skill set, and within the industry which is ever changing. COVID has accelerated 20 years of progress in just 2 years' time.
Correct.
Think about what will happen in the next 10 years. We have to be there together. We have to work towards this mission. Every contributor, each of the core team member has contributed and booked their copies as well, even though they are supposed to get the free copies. And I would like to thank Mridula on this, first of all, and I want to appreciate and want to mention it here. By the way, Mridula is the first person to book our first copy of the book Sone Ki Chidiya Ko Jagao.
Thank
So,
you.
Mridula, great work. I am going to put this message on social media for you because you are the first one who has actually booked our first copy. I would say that. That is really a good commitment and towards that thing. That shows your commitment. And I think I
Many more to
loved your
go, I'm sure.
passion.
No worries.
Would definitely want to work with you and support on that. Great, and all of us are doing. My father is contributing 9 copies. He's buying 9 copies of the book. He's saying that from on my behalf, you send it to all the leaders of the country, and something like that. So the point is, people are coming forward. The time is not very far when an organization will come and say, "I want to buy it for my all my 100 employees," because it's not about the book. Book will only give them perspectives, and it's there eh, for everybody, be it an employee, a student, a trainer, or a mentor, or an entrepreneur, or a business owner, or an administration, or a political leader. You will find something or else for you in that book, and how you could be a part of this transformation. So with this, I would like to thank each and every of you to come forward on this. And special another thanks I want to share it with for Manoranjan.
Thank
He has
you.
actually persuaded me, reached out to me couple of times after coming from Dubai Award, and he said that Anshav, I'm going to be part of this. He is the one who immediately bought the book. So by the way, Mridula is the first person, I am the second person, and Manoranjan is the third person to buy the book or pre-book the book.
Thank you, sir.
So these,
Thank you.
and he has told me that Anshav, I am going to bring at least 10 people in the next 10 days who will purchase the book. This
Very
is
good.
the kind of commitment we need. And that can come in only once you are committed. Once you
100%.
have booked your copy, then only you can ask 10 different people. If you yourself has not booked it, you cannot ask anybody. You
Correct.
cannot ask anybody. That shows that you are just trying to see it very small short term perspective. You're just trying to see मेरे को क्या benefit मिलेगा. It's not the benefit for us. We're not looking at any profit out here. 100% of the profits are going towards charity, towards this mission zero unemployment. We're not going to use any of these monies. But we need to pay to the trainers. We need to pay to because their families are also there. We are going to generate thousand. Me and Daman was doing some calculations, and we realized that we'll be generating hundreds of employment within Bringle itself. We already have our organization chart ready where we'll require at least 100 people in the next 1 year itself.
More than
And that
that,
is why Daman was
Anshav.
mentioning his real time
More than that.
examples.
100 is
Yes.
a very small number.
Ashok, I need to deliver another webinar at 6 o'clock. So I would
Okay.
like to take leave with your
So
permission.
I'm
With a quick update,
yeah.
I was out today. I've touched 5 universities today itself, and those webinars should be happening soon. With
Lovely.
this,
So that's something
I
really,
request-
really
Amazing.
great, Daman. And
Perfect.
as I said, we have already crossed 6 universities, 500 plus colleges, and around a billion students touch points, which we have reached out to. We want to take it to 993 plus universities which are there in the country. And if you talk about the standalone institutions, it will probably go to 30 to 40,000 institutions, and it does not include a National Skill Development Corporation institutions. So I think we will have to reach out to each and every institution like that. And I won't take too much of time from here. I would just want to thank you, all of you, who
Thank you very
took time
much.
on Saturday and here listen to
Thank
this
you,
out.
Daman.
Now,
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you all,
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
team.
We'll be in
Thank you
touch with
all.
you.
Thank
We'll
Thank
be
you,
in
you.
touch with
sir.
you for
Thank you
sure.
for
Definitely,
this
yes,
great
definitely.
yes,
Thank
initiative.
good luck all of
Bye-bye.
you to
We
keep
wish all
spreading the
success.
Bringle
Yeah.
wave and reach
Thank
out
you.
to each and every
Bye-bye.
Indian across the globe.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
very much.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Let's bye. Keep bringing, keep growing.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vidula. Please, I am very, very impressed with your passion, and I'll speak to you about ageism. I will speak to you separately if you connect with me on the ageism problem.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much.